gentlemen, may we welcome the Minister and our guest of honor as he arrives. A round of applause. Thank you. May we kindly have the national anthem before we go to formalities. If we can stand for the national anthem. Thank you so much. Please take your seat. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sibonginko Simuteiwa, Salibonani, Makadini, Dumelang, Mapona from Binga. Anyone from Binga, Mapona? Munjani, if you are from my area in Plumtree, Munjani, Balibedu. Hey! Momuka. Yes, as I said, my name is Boniko Simtewa. I'm representing the Postal and Telecommunications Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe, the regulator of choice, where the people that know that we are the regulator of choice. Hello. Yes, I can see their hands. The Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Mendiwanzira, welcome, sir. The Provincial Administrator for Bulawayo Province, Mrs. Konzani Ngube. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Engineer Semu Kundishora. His Worship, the Mayor of Bulawayo, Councillor M.K. Moyo, the District Administrator, Mrs. Kuziwalela, the Provincial Education Director for Bulawayo Province, Mrs. Mugoni, Directors in the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, other senior government officials here present, the Potraz Board Vice Chairman, Retired Major General Sivangemuzi Kumalo, the Potraz Acting Director General, Mrs. Cecilia Yamotswa, Chief Executive Officers, Managing Directors and representatives of ICT companies, Postal and Courier Services, our adjudicators here present on my left, led by Engineer Mutsekwa, sir, captains of industry, distinguished innovators, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this exciting function here in Matabeleland province of Bulawayo. I would like us to start by saying Salibonani to everyone. Please can you greet someone who's sitting next to you? Which is Salibonani.
Yo, what's up? Perfect, you good?
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, ngiyabonga ukuba lapha abantu bakobulawayo sithabile njenge-Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services ukuthi lilapha futhi libuyile abantu bakobulawayo lizosapota initiative yalapha ekhaya esibuye sizebuthanela abantu ama-ICT innovators. Siyathaba kakhulu ngapha ama-ICT innovators lawani. Hayi ngiyalibona phela yenzani umsindo phela. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin our program, I would like to invite, to welcome the Provincial Administrator, Mrs. Konzani Ngobe, to come and give us her welcome remarks representing the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs, Ms. Honorable E.S. Moyo. Ma'am, if you can join me for your remarks. Can you give a round of applause?
Thank you very much, Sibo. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As already alluded to, my name is Konzani Ngobe. Ordinarily, I'm the Provincial Administrator for Bulawayo Metropolitan Province. However, tonight I am a minister. The Honorable Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Esman Wanzira, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Engineer Sem Kundishora, the host DA Madam Fungai Kuzwadela, His Worship the Mayor of the City of Bulawayo, Councillor M.K. Moyo, Directors in the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Senior Officers here present, Potraz Vice Chairman, Retired Major General Sibamuzi Kumalo, Potraz Acting Director General, Mrs. Cecilia Nyamutswa, Chief Executive Officers, Managing Directors and representatives of ICT companies here present, Captains of Industry here present, our adjudicators here present, distinguished innovators, ladies and gentlemen, Lichonandani. It is with a great pleasure to extend a very, very warm welcome to the Metropolitan Province of Bulawayo. It is a great privilege and honor to host this historic event. As a province, we are grateful to the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services for convening the Zimbabwe ICT Innovators Showcase here in the City of Kings and their Queens. Ladies and gentlemen, it is gratifying to note that the agenda of this showcase is to identify and support young ICT innovators in the country, to develop their ideas, protect their intellectual property, and deploy their technical solutions for the benefit of our country and the global market. Research and innovation is a powerful tool of socio-economic change in a developing country like this. We need to acknowledge the efforts of these young individuals and organizations that have excelled in being innovative and have meaningfully contributed to the development of the nation through ICTs. The youth have a significant role to play in the development of the country and also to contribute positively towards the economic blueprint that is our Zimbabwe agenda. To enhance innovation, there is the need for us to invest more in research and development. We should also strengthen vocational and tertiary education and university and industry ties. The protection of intellectual property rights is essential in building confidence and a good climate for investment and innovation in Zimbabwe. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate everyone who managed to exhibit at this very, very important showcase. These exhibitors are a testament of your tenacity and dedication to work towards the development of ICTs and ultimately of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a round of applause to this very great mission. It is our hope that this is the beginning of an ongoing trust that will prove that ICTs have indeed a role to play in the business sector and it needs to be nurtured to realize so that it gets to its full potential. As a nation, we need to promote it and encourage those in the sector. This showcase, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed a step in the right direction. At this juncture, allow me to commend the Ministry of ICT's Postal and Courier Services for choosing Bulawayo Metropolitan Province to host this innovation showcase. By choosing Bulawayo, I'm sure it was not by accident, but it was through the recognition of the potential that is in the Metropolitan Province of Bulawayo. At this juncture, lonke Zwani Yamgega province yabo Bulawayo, enjoy the rest of the evening. I thank you, Tinote and Asiago.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mude, for those warm welcoming remarks to all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you have heard that we are here to talk about innovations, specifically ICT innovations. Our next speakers, ladies and gentlemen, are two young people who are at the forefront of some innovations that are happening here in this region. So I would like to welcome the two young men, one representative from Sky Hub and another representative from Tech Village, to come and briefly talk to us about what is happening here in the southern region of the country.
Thank you very much. Big welcome to all of you here today. An extra big welcome to our Honourable Minister. Welcome to Bulawayo. My name is Martin, and I'm the unfortunate yet very hard-working founder of Sky Hub. What is Sky Hub? Luckily, for the last 2 years, I've had a lot of good practice speaking to a lot of people, trying to explain this new concept to them. So over the years, I've gotten a bit better, and this is my best version yet. Those of you that have this, a driver's license. Yeah, the story is for you. Those of you that don't have a license, pay attention. All of us were once 14 years old, and we all thought we could drive. It was something that was fueled by our favorite PlayStation game, Need for Speed, and our absolute favorite movie, The Fast and the Furious. By the time Dad drove in, you always wanted to just park the car, because you thought you could drive, right? Unfortunately, you couldn't. You realized this when you first cranked the clutch, and the car jumped, and you thought you were going to die. Right? So we had to go and take you to a driving school, because this is where you then learn how to change the gears, how to learn road rules, and how to pay attention to other people driving on the road. You had to go to a driving school. What is Sky Hub? Sky Hub is the driving school for innovation, entrepreneurship, and technology. You see, we're not going to be giving out any of these licenses, but what we do give you at Sky Hub is a co-working space, which means that even if you're starting up small, you don't have much, you don't have enough money for an office, an internet connection, or even to book a boardroom, we have all that for you at SkyHub. So that when you get there, you can start with what you have. That HP laptop that you've had for 3 years is fine, because everyone else has that HP laptop. That's where we all started. We also have wonderful workshops and events that allow you to understand slowly what business is without having to go to business school. We have workshops that will improve your skills in technology, making sure that you go from that first level of coding to a very masterclass, world-class level of programming. And most importantly, we have a community. We have like-minded people who are driving to be the leaders of innovation in Zimbabwe, and we want you to join that community. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Martin. I'm the founder of Sky.
Thank you so much, Martin. Martin is an interesting young man. He's Russian Zimbabwean. He's actually, we share the same surname. He is Martin Mishov. So he's Russian Zimbabwean, but he's a passionate young man about innovation. So can we give him a round of applause? Our next speaker is from Tech Village. If I can ask Takunda to come and speak to us about Tech Village.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome all our wonderful guests, both from the private sector and the public sector. Honorable Minister, welcome to our beautiful city, Bulawayo. My name is Takunda Chimonso, and I'm the co-founder of the Tech Village. Now, my entrepreneurial journey started 5 years ago when I was in my first year at university, and to be honest, all that I wanted to do was to solve my problems. I remember back then we used to stay at this place where there was no internet access. We always had to walk from that place to campus, and it's not really safe at night. And so we thought, how can we solve this for ourselves? And that's how the journey started. Over the past 4 years, I have tried to solve numerous problems, both for myself and for people that I've interacted with. And to tell you the truth, over these 5 years, I have failed 18 times. These are things that I have come up and I said, maybe we could do this and that. And the reason why I failed are various. The environment, some policy the market doesn't understand, or we don't have the skills. There are a lot of assumptions that go around when you're trying to innovate. We all get excited when we have ideas, and I'm sure we all have ideas in this very room. So I've decided to dedicate my work, and those that I work with, to building what the Tech Village is. Now, the Tech Village is a collaborative working space for early-stage entrepreneurs. What we provide these entrepreneurs is a community, so people with similar ideas who are also trying to innovate, resources, and access to some form of financing. All this helps to discount the cost of starting up. And the reason why we do this is because from these 18 times, we realize that there are a whole lot of things that we assume going in, that most of these innovators then face challenges in. Now, how do we do this? We do this by doing a couple of very interesting things. The first thing is hosting very interesting events. The first of these events that I'll talk about are what are called community events. Now, community events are a way that we have figured out to allow the private sector to come to us and say, you know what, as young innovators, we have this particular problem. Maybe we're failing to sell a product, or the market is not responding, or maybe your competitor has stolen your market. And so it's a way of leveraging on the collaborative brilliance of our community to solve public and private sector problems. Currently, we're working with a real estate company in helping them sell stands to people in the diaspora, so as to increase their revenue and growth. The second thing that we do is host events on a weekly basis and on a monthly basis. And the next biggest event that we're going to be hosting is the Tech Fest sometime in November. I hope to all see you there. So we're currently based at the National University of Science and Technology, but because of our rate of growth, we currently have a community of 200 young entrepreneurs, about 35 teams working on different things, and of these 35, 18 of them have actually become startups. And so because of this expansion, we realized that we needed a bigger home, a newer home. And so we're currently in the process of setting up a 1,300 square meter collaborative working space. And because we're innovators, we love to show you what this looks like before it actually becomes. So please do visit that link to take a 360 virtual tour of the entire space. On the slides that you're looking at are some of the startups that we're working. So these are innovators that are innovating in different sectors and different industries, from energy to real estate to food and meal delivery to SMS infrastructure and connectivity, right across the spectrum. We believe that innovation and technology should be an extension of the human existence. And so as businesses, as people in government, we should leverage on this to either increase the impact or lower the cost of the products that we're pushing to the market. I'd like to invite all of you to join our community, to join the events that we are taking part in by contacting us using the details on the screen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you enjoyed the presentations.
Thank you so much, Kakula, for enlightening us about the Tech Village. The logo is a village, for sure. Can we celebrate the two young men and the members of these hubs and all the young innovators by clapping our hands and celebrating them? Well, in any organization or country or setup, there's always people that actually set up policies to ensure that such things actually happen. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is going to be the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Dr. Engineer Sam Kundishora, who is going to speak to us briefly to have our remarks and also introduce our guest of honor. Can we give a round of applause for Engineer?
Good evening to you all. Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. I sometimes wonder, each time one of the minister is to take to the podium, the Permanent Secretary is required to say a few words. And then invite the Honorable Minister to speak. So this is customary, this is standard. And civil says I have to say a few remarks. So I think I will have to say one or two sentences. And before I do that, let me recognize the presence of the Honorable Minister responsible for ICT's Postal and Courier Services in the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Superman Wanzi. I also should recognize the staff who have come from the Ministry of ICT's Postal and Courier Services who are here today. I wish to recognize the Provincial Administrator for Bulawayo Metropolitan, Mrs. K. Mule, the District Administrator for Bulawayo Central, Mrs. Kuzwalela. I also wish to recognize His Worship the Mayor for Bulawayo. I actually must admit I haven't actually met the mayor. I was looking for the mayor
day and night to try and address those challenges, realizing that the technology which you have in your hands, the responsibility on your shoulders to drive ICTs is not the sole hope, but I must say the hope of the societies in the country. Because ICTs are actually at the moment, there is no sector, no project, no activity where, Honorable Minister, ICTs are not part of. And we also know very well that your passion is in development. You would want to see the country developed more so through the technology which you superintend over and drive. And this is why you brought the idea of supporting innovations. And I recall, Honorable Minister, that when you spoke about innovations and innovators, you almost said that these or this group can actually create employment. ZimAsset demands that we deliver. Employment creation is one key expectation from ZimAsset. And you said that if innovators are supported, they can create employment. And in so doing, participate in the economic development and economic activities of the country, and thereby contributing to the fiscus. And that's why we are here, Honorable Minister, in pursuit of your vision, in pursuit of your expectations. Let me say narration I would want to give before I invite the Honorable Minister and the guests of honor. His name was Louis Pasteur. And when he discovered James, people obviously regarded him to be very intelligent. And indeed he was. But he made two, maybe you want to call them activities, but they were not considered very smart. And they were not expected to come from such an intelligent person. The first one was that when he was sitting on a table with visitors, entertaining his visitors, he had gone around preaching that you must actually wash your hands and even wash the fruits before you eat them. But here, Louis Pasteur, sitting on the table, he went straight for the fruit and he ate it without washing it. And then, the other thing is that he had a cat which he liked so much. So when he was in his study, the cat would come on the door and then it would make noise and scratch a little bit. And then that irritated him. And then the intelligent person said, I must do something. And then he cut a hole in the door, big enough for the cat to walk in and out. I'm saying this, guest of honor, because we are talking of innovation. So he cut this hole, and so from there on, the cat had no problems. Each time it wanted to come into its master, it would simply walk in and walk out. But as time went by, the cat got kittens. And this intelligent man, he realized that, my cat has kittens. They too need space to come in and out. And what he did was he went and he cut small holes on the door for the small kittens to walk in and out. This very intelligent person, what he didn't realize is that the kittens can actually fit in the same hole with their mother. Innovation takes a lot to discover what really is needed. sometimes you may miss it completely. But innovation has to be done. It has to take place in order to improve on something. And I hope Louis Pasteur teaches innovators something. We do not need to belabor and think outside the things which are before us. I would want, with these few remarks, to request you to join me in inviting the Honorable Minister responsible for ICTs, who himself is to come and address us.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Very good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for coming. I know that a couple of you were a bit confused because you saw me with this and also with this. And of course, an ICT minister must sort of live with the times and indicate they are ICT ready. But trust me, you know, I am very proficient in using these, and also, like you, proficient in using this. So in honor of our trees, I'm going to read from this. Many of you think paper is dead, right? Yeah, I know a lot of you think so, but when you go to the toilet, you don't think so. So it's not yet dead. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to recognize the Honorable Minister for the Provincial Affairs for Bulawayo, Metropolitan Province, Honorable Eunice Sandemoyo, who's well represented here by Mrs. Ngube, Kozani Ngube, the Provincial Administrator for Bulawayo Metropolitan Province. I also want to recognize the man who's just introduced me, who is the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Dr. Engineer Sam Kuntishora. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to also acknowledge the DA for Bulawayo, Mrs. Nkuziwalela, the Mayor of the City of Kings and their Queens. I like that one. That's Councillor M.K. Moyo. Directors in the ministry who are here present, the Vice Chairman of Potraz, retired General Swangumuzi, Major General Swangumuzi Kumalo, the Potraz Acting Director General Mrs. Cecilia Nyamutswa. It's just good to have some women in high places. Stand up so they cannot see you. Yeah, thank you. Also, I would like to recognize our great partners in this initiative that we are carrying out throughout Zimbabwe and happening for the first time in this country, in the City of Kings and Queens. This initiative where we are identifying creative young Zimbabweans and old Zimbabweans who have abilities to develop ICT projects that can make a change in our society. So I want to recognize from the industry, those that have joined us here tonight, all the way from Harare. I want to recognize the leadership from Tel1, if you can stand up, the leadership from Net1, the leadership from Telecel, the leadership from Africom, Zimpost. Please, Taurai Mazdenyu, so that people can know you. Because in your market, this is the platform that you're going to use to sell the innovations that you're working on. So if you can start one time, just introduce yourself, who you are and your position. Please get a microphone so that they can hear you.
The name is Brian Mutandiro, Net1, the fastest growing network at the moment.
I'm Angeline Vere, the CEO of Telecel Zimbabwe, the network of choice.
I'm Rudom Dawanu, CEO of Africom, Connect to Success.
to know who Mark Zuckerberg is. So we all rushed to find seats in this auditorium where he was going to present. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you that there's a lady from Foodie who did a presentation. Is she still here? From Foodie? You see that lady? You can have a seat. There's a gentleman from Washan. Washan? You see that gentleman there? You can take a seat. They are far better than Mark Zuckerberg. He's not impressive. I'm being... And I'm saying, I am not saying this to try and excite the crowd or to get you to clap for me. I'm being genuinely honest. I sat in that presentation, uninspiring, not exciting speaker, nothing in his brain. Completely. I'm being honest. You ask anyone who attended, go online and look for that speech. Unimpressive. What that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that what we saw outside this evening has the capacity and potential to be bigger than what Mark Zuckerberg built. What it requires is government support. It is industry support. It is the kind of things that Chingonzo are doing. Creating a platform where all young people can get together to see an opportunity and say, this is what I can do. I just don't have the right equipment, the right machinery, the right environment, and they have created a hub. That's all that young Zimbabweans require to be able to be the greatest innovators on this planet. There is a reason why Zimbabwe is the most literate society on the African continent. And there's a reason why a new deal for $485 million to expand the network. That's government investment. And do you know what happens? We now have more people then getting onto mobile, smartphones, access to the internet. Do you know who's benefiting? It is Mark Zuckerberg. It is Twitter. It is all these other guys, but who has invested in the infrastructure? It is Econet. It is Telecel. It is Net1. It is the Tel1. It is the government of Zimbabwe. So we have created a market for Microsoft. We have created a market for Viber. How about creating a market for ourselves? And that is the challenge we are throwing back at you, to say, let's not have Microsoft benefit from the investment we have put to bring more people on the information superhighway. Let's not have Facebook benefit exclusively. Let that benefit go to our own people, first and foremost. Of course, it's a competitive space. We can allow the others to come in, but if you talk to us nicely, we can squeeze them out and allow you to prosper. I've just come back from China on Sunday. Hakuna Google, kune Baidu. And everybody in China uses Baidu. I've just come back from China. Hakuna Twitter. Vane yao QQ. So they have all these platforms for themselves, and the government there has made it very deliberate that my pipe you don't go through their pipes into China. But you are lucky in Hong Kong, you can access Google. Some of you follow me on Twitter, so you didn't see me active in the last 2 weeks because I was in a territory that is proud of their own people's innovations. So some of the things we have to be proud of our young people and what they are producing. And that is the reason we have this initiative, ladies and gentlemen. That is why we are doing what we are doing. I know that there are a couple of people out there who sometimes tend to think that what government wants to do is to stifle their liberties. We have no interest in stifling your liberties. We have interest in making you have food on the table. That's number one initiative. Create employment. Everything that we've seen outside there has a potential of creating employment, 10, 20 people employed. Now, Washington is very exciting innovation because students at National University of Science and Technology havana nguva yekugeza hembe, so they have no time for laundry. So what they're basically doing, Washington is giving a platform to a maid who doesn't get very well paid to do some extra work on the side, wash someone else's clothes. But there's a guy who also has a bicycle who must deliver them back to the university. So they've created employment too. You have the woman at home who's retired. Then you have the young man who has a bike who's now delivering it to the student. So we can create employment by doing these things in our country. Not rocket science, but we try and make it seem so difficult. It's not difficult, it requires government support. It requires what Potraz and the Minister of ICT and the players in the industry are now doing, to put a fund in place that says if you have an innovation that is exciting, go to my speech, which I will summarize. So I will start by doing things that I've already done, which is to welcome you to the inaugural Zimbabwe ICT Innovators Showcase, happening for the first time in the City of Kings and their queens. This is being done under one roof so as to give them an opportunity, which is you, to showcase your innovations as we move towards the launch of the Innovation Fund. Today, we are embarking on a journey to empower Zimbabwe's young innovators. The reason is simple. Zimbabwe can only thrive when young people thrive. We need to position Zimbabwe as a world leader in turning ideas into solutions, science into technologies, skills into jobs, startup companies into global success stories. In short, making Zimbabwe an innovation nation. That's what innovation is about. The ministry has a vision to transform Zimbabwe into a global center for innovation, an innovation nation. That means creating good paying occupation for college leavers, driving growth across all sectors of the economy, and improving the lives of all Zimbabweans. That is the purpose of the innovation agenda that this ministry, with all its partners, are embarking on. Early this year, I announced the setting up of the Innovation Fund under the ministry, with the main objective being to increase ICT research, uptake by young innovators, by research institutions in Zimbabwe, to increase the total number of homegrown ICT applications and increase creation, to promote a culture of ICT innovation and development among young Zimbabweans, to establish innovation hubs within the country, and to provide businesses and technopreneurial training and incubation services to young innovators within the country. But that does not mean we are getting rid of Sky Hub. Another story for another day. I'm happy to say work on putting in place the necessary framework for the fund has been completed. I will soon be announcing the launch date for the fund. personal swipe cards and accounts that could buy it online. Get 10,000 of them to buy it. So we have an opportunity to create things that are totally different. And I was very excited to see one innovation company outside that is doing a game based on our history, based on Shaka, Zilikazi, Lobengula, and stuff like that. It's both a game, but also a historical education. Now, those kind of things, and if you do them very well with the support that we are going to provide through Potraz and the market, could be taken up by the Ministry of Education. And it becomes a game that kids must play before they start the actual lessons in class. That's what we want to do. With the brilliant innovations that I saw during this afternoon's exhibition, I have no doubt that this fund will go a long way in making our country the innovation hub of Southern Africa, an innovation nation.
Akumbambe ukasikhulume rather than akumbambe ku-WhatsApp anjo nango ma-innovators sichiyeleni nangijo. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, I think we would want also to recognize the institutions of higher learning who are here, who have come to support us. Bulawayo Poly, Onasti, ababuyileyo, siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi liboyile. And then also, I wanted to let you know that our very able adjudicators are waiting for the next session. So I'll be very quick to hand over to my co-MC or my co-moderator who is here tonight to talk to to us about the innovations, the top 5 innovations that have led tonight. I think some of them you heard the minister talking about them. So, Terence, please come.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight and pretty much the whole day has been about interacting, right? We've been sharing ideas. You got a sneak peek of the struggles, the opportunities that these guys have identified, and what they're doing to change Bulawayo and Zimbabwe as a whole. I'm excited that our Honorable Minister was excited with what he saw, and I thought it must be Bulawayo. So Bulawayo, clap hands for yourself right now. You see, if you want to go far, do it in a. If you want to be effective and do more, do it in Bulawayo. So Bulawayo, come on. I think if that should be a recommendation for Parliament, anything good should come to Bulawayo first before it goes to the other smaller cities. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to interact today because what we're getting into is something very similar to what we do on a month-on-month basis called pitch nights. So pitch nights is really about the audience and people rallying behind innovators and startups so that they can get the feedback they need to launch their business or make the right decision. So this is about collaborative brilliance. So I'm going to give you a bit of a taste. I see that we've got some short people, some tall people, so I'm going to let you sit, right? Because I think you should be able to at least be at a reasonable level. Now I want you to look to the person on your right. We want to get to know each other. Look to the person on your right. So right is the one that's not the left, okay? Okay, so I want you to look to the person on your left. Okay, that's not the exercise, okay? So I could have told people to, okay, still keep looking at the person on your left, right? I was tempted to say, the next thing is rub the person's tummy, but hey, we've got very important people, we've got CEOs, so maybe not rubbing the tummy. But what I want you to do is, stretch out your hand and hold their head like this. Now, if the person who's sitting next to you has a Brazilian wave, say, hey, doing it big, man. Okay? But let's all do it. Okay? Can you hold the next person's head, okay? And for those with no hair, just tell them, if you have no hair, just tell them I'm smooth. Okay, so whilst you're holding the next person's head, tell them, get ready to get your brain massaged like you would not believe. Let's hold this. Let's all say that. All right, so I think we're ready for the show, right? So in the afternoon, we had just under 30 exhibitors come. And that was an amazing turnout. And I believe we've got such amazing people in Bulawayo that are doing amazing things. And like the Honorable Minister said, they need your support. Where we're getting to now is we've managed to get the 5 that you loved, the ones that you voted for and said, look, these guys are doing some interesting stuff. But I must put a disclaimer, this is not a competition. The aim is not to get 5 guys and then give the prize to as many businesses as possible. So if you exhibited today, you're on the right track. You're the guys that this innovation fund is looking for. So don't think about the fact that maybe I didn't make it into the top 5. That does not matter. But make sure that you keep doing what you're doing and interact with the community. All right? So we've got our top 5, and these are the top 5 we voted for. And this is how the show is going to work today. So we're going to give these top 5 time to present to you. And this is where we get into the time where we share. So we've got our team of adjudicators, and I'll introduce them shortly. But what we're doing tonight, we're going to give them 5 minutes to talk about their innovation. They'll tell you the journey of why they started it. What opportunity did they identify? What traction have they made? What problems are they encountering that they need your support for? And when their 5 minutes is done, And if they go over the 5 minutes, I will pat them on the back. And if they don't listen to the patting on the back, I may have to slap them to make sure they stop, all right? Then when that ends, we'll get into what we call community time. So today, all of you, except the adjudicators, are the judges. We expect you to ask them questions, comments, and feedback to help them on their journey. Is that clear? Can we do that, folks? Yes. All right? Okay, so that's how tonight's going to work. And I just want to introduce our adjudicators real quick. We've got Mr. Fungai Mtsegwa from the Rainbow Hotel. He's also known as the godfather of pitch nights. You can ask him why. Do you mind standing up, Mr. Mtsegwa, and letting the audience know you? All right. We've got Mr. Robert Mutasa, representing Telecel, so he's coming in with the technical expertise. Can you give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We've got Mr. Tyrell Kabirami from Africom. May you please stand up, sir, and just get... We've got Mr. Magaya from Econet. May you please stand up, sir? He's also one of our educators. And we've got Mr. Chandito from Net1. May you please... My apologies. He's so important, I changed his name up. Okay? So Mr. Chaviga from Net1, my apologies for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I think we want to get straight into our pitch night. And the first, Telecel, John, Minister of ICT. You see, you want to linger with the government, yeah? You want to take it slow. Mr. Newman, Nyamuri, do you mind standing up for everyone to see you? That's everyone, right? Okay. All right, so our top five, I'll read them out for you. We've got Neon, so she'll be coming up a bit later. Do you want to stand up once I see you? Did she stand up? My apologies. Shots fired. We've got Zim hosts. All right. We've got Code Marshall. We've got Infinite Gaming. We've got Hack Shack. And a wild card, Dr. X. All right, so the order for tonight, we'll have Hack Shack come on first. They'll be followed by Zim Host. Dr. X will go third. Neon will go fourth, and Code Marshall will go fifth, and lastly, we'll close the evening with Infinite Gaming. All right, is that okay? Is that okay, folks? Yeah. Okay, remember we're interacting today, eh? Okay. Are there any enough students in the house? Yeah. By show of hands, by show of hands. Amazing, amazing. Okay, guys. Right. Let us all find a last student and let's give them $1 for their washing so that they can go and C4, all right? So let's quickly, okay? Whilst we wait for Hashtag to come aboard, let's all donate $1 or $2 for their washing. Washing is on us, all right? Okay. Wow, what an amazing video, eh? I think that requires a standing ovation, if we know what that is. Okay, come on, let's stand and just give a shout out to Potraz for that amazing video. That is vision. That is sharing vision, ladies and gentlemen. When you see a video like that, and they tell you they're gonna have 25 million, you believe. You believe, right? All right, so our first innovator, Michael O'Neill. Are you ready? He's ready.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Dera, as Terence has already said, and I'm the founder of Eggshape. So to start off, I'm going to tell you why I think this is necessary in the country and where I want it to go. So I've always wondered, right, why there's a lack of innovation when it comes to hardware in Zimbabwe. Like, you always hear of students in other countries who develop drones, who've developed a new smart system that can do maybe something in agriculture and things like that. And when I did my research, this is what I found. You find students from other countries, they're exposed to hardware from an early stage. If you look at software, for example, I know there are a lot of apps that are developed outside, because it's much easier for you to download the software and then go on to actually develop the application. So it's necessary for us to have hardware gadgets and the components getting into the country for people to actually begin the development process. The problem really is that developers and students who actually want to develop hardware, your final year students, your hobbyists, your makers, they don't have access to resources. This is due to the fact that some of the components are not actually available locally. So to get into this, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story about my experience when I was studying a course in electronic communications. I wanted to develop a system that would close your curtains when it got dark and then switch on your light, essentially so that for those working professionals who live alone, burglars will not be able to tell that there's no one at home. When I wanted to do this, I had to use one of a component that was not available locally, and I had to import it from outside the country. When I did this, I had to choose between two things. It's either I had to wait 3 whole weeks for the shipping process, or I had to pay an extra amount to be able to get my components into the country by the date that I wanted them. Eventually, I did buy the component at the higher price, and I developed my gadget. But then a lot of students then began to ask me, where did you get the component? Because they wanted to do the same thing. So when this started, we essentially were developing we're essentially shipping stuff from outside the country. We're reducing the cost of the overheads, like shipping and the delivery cost, and then supplying these components to students at a lower costs. But as we went on and on, as the demand got higher, we actually figured some of the things are really too simple. Like, people actually design these things outside the country, and they can be made locally at a much lower cost. So we then began to manufacture some of these components. For example, these are some of the simpler things that we're now manufacturing at Eggshape. So we can develop some of these prototyping wires, we can now etch boards, we can now design some of the circuits that people require. So we now provide an end-to-end service for students who wish to develop their hardware by providing with all the tools, the resources, and the services that they need to do so. So for example, take a final year student who's making an electronic gadget, a smart gadget like myself. There are tools that you need, but you don't have to make the commitment to buy a piece of machinery that you're only going to use once. So why not provide these resources to students at a rental basis? And why not manufacture some of these things locally? Why not provide students with spaces to work from while they're doing their innovations? So essentially, this is what I wanted to do with Eggshape. And to kind of give you an idea of how I think this will work in the future. Like I had tested before, you've seen a lot of apps outside, right? But I recall not so long a time ago, we had to hire people specifically to operate computers in companies. But nowadays, because everyone has access to computers, you can have anyone printing a document, anyone typing a document, and things like that. So what I know that this can do for the country is that if everyone has access to resources,
financially attractive of your?
Okay, thank you for the question. So currently, in Zimbabwe, the last figures that I checked, there were 142,000 students who did STEM-related courses in Zimbabwe. I'm talking about upper sixes on their own. I won't get into Form 4s. Part of the requirements for ZIMSEC learners is to do practical courses in laboratories, right? So if you calculate that and assume that even if students spend a minimum of $2.5 on each component, you can already see what the profit is on that. Does that answer your question? Okay, can I get the question again?
How will you scale up based on your financial attractiveness? Because there needs to be feasibility of your growth from stage 1 to stage 3. So now I'm failing to link up the financial prosperity as an investor or as a student on how you stand out in terms of globally, because you know when you're building a project, you're not building it for the community, you actually want to be a robust businessman. So what's the financial proposition that you're offering?
Okay, thank you very much again. I'm not sure if I'm not coming across clearly, but I said in terms of high school students on their own, we've got 142,000. That's the size of a market, right? And if all these students adhere to the regulations of ZIMSEC, which require for them to do practical courses in laboratory, and they're supplied with components, already you have 142,000 who are spending $2.50 each on the business on a year-on-year basis. If you go to students who are in universities, which is around 8,700 in STEM-related courses in last year's figures, you already have another market, and on average, every student who does a project is spending about $56 on their components. So already you can see the size of that market. Then you've got Form 4s who also are required to do electronics and things like that for integrated science and physical science, which is over 200,000 students. Does that now answer your question?
All right. Okay, so give a hand to Michael right there. Isn't it lovely when the entrepreneurs start defending their projects, the passion? Eh? Thank you very much for your question. I think you can really take it to the side, but well done. Keep working on it. All right. You can take your seat. So we're going to move to the next one. So we're going to try and quickly do 2 more. And then we're going to take a break to just have something to eat and drink, and then finish off the remaining 3. All right? Is that okay with everyone? All right. Nice. All right. So, Doctor, do you want to come up? This is Dr. X, ladies and gentlemen. Mike, thank you very much. Eh? All right. You ready?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to present Dr. X, and my name is Gift Ghana, and I'm from Good Apps. So Dr. X is a computer system that we want to help doctors to better diagnose medical images. So when we are talking about medical images, we are talking about your X-rays, your ultrasound, and all those other kind of scans. So also just a bit of definition, we're going to be talking about radiologists. So radiologists are medical doctors who specialize in reading and interpreting these medical images here. So the problems that have been observed in the healthcare sector is that there is a shortage of radiologists all over the world. Here in Zimbabwe, it's very critical because we've only about 15 radiologists for the whole country. So that gives you like just 1 radiologist per million people, which is a very acute situation. The other problem that is also there is that radiologists are limited in their accuracy with which they can read the medical images. So some studies have found that should be around 70%. And then also you'd find that at some times you don't have expert radiologists available at hospitals. Say after hours, you might go to a hospital after having an accident and there's no radiologist to look at your scans, to examine if there are any injuries or how bad the injuries in your head are. So these are the problems that have been identified. So we have developed, as Good, a solution to this. What we have developed is a computer system that solves these 2 problems. 1, it will improve the accuracy of diagnosis, and 2, it will provide these radiology services where they are currently limited. And how we have done this is that we have created a computer system that is able to take previously labeled medical images. So in this example, we've got a set of medical images showing you how a healthy lungs look like, how images of lung cancer look like, and also how x-rays of TB look like. And this is, it now trains what is called a deep neural network to produce the computer system that we are calling Dr. X. So a neural network is a system that is a software system that is modeled on how our human brains work. And the deep part is that it has got several layers of these networks, which helps it to understand images, to understand speech, and so on. So after we've trained the system, it can now be given a new scan of a patient so that we can find out. So you've gone to see your doctor, you're feeling chest pains, and then the doctor says, go and have a chest x-ray taken. So after that chest x-ray is taken, it can now be analyzed by Dr. X. And Dr. X will be able to give you a prediction of what disease you might have. So in this particular case, this one was seen to be a healthy person with a 76% probability. So our team composes of myself on the software development side, and I'm also working with Tatenda Madzorera, who is a radiographer, so she's giving input and advice on how the system can really work within the clinical setting and help medical practitioners. And we will be able to deliver this solution with confidence that because of our track record in delivering success. So one of my medical oriented apps is an app called BMI Calculator that actually won the Opera Top Apps Award in 2013 in the sport and health category. And in all the apps that I've developed, they've been used by people all over the world, and they've gotten over 12 million downloads. And TechZim named Avio Good Apps one of the 11 startups to look for. And this is what we are doing for you to realize why you needed to look out for. So the market size, the market segment that we are targeting is what is called the medical imaging and analysis software, which is expected to grow by up to 50% between last year and next year. And this growth is being driven by investments that governments and private sector are making in the healthcare sector, and also because of rising incidence of chronic diseases. And our competition, there are some existing solutions. So there's one called CAD for TB, which our own Ministry of Health has used an X-ray system with that, but it's limited to just TB with that accuracy of 65%. And you also have those other products from Samsung, which have got those limitations. Thank you.
Come take a seat with me, sir. Painful, eh? 5 minutes seems like so much time when you're talking to your friends, eh? But so little when you're up here. So, Doc, what is the backstory on Dr. X? Did you just wake up and say, I want to do something for radio that affects radiographers?
So in April this year, I was consulting for some European consortium who were designing a device to help diagnose breast cancer. So while I was doing some research for them, I then came across the statistics that I shared with you that reviewed some of the inaccuracies, the false diagnosis, the misdiagnosis that happened. And I've got another product that uses image recognition, and I've realized that I can use that technology in the medical field. So since then, I've then started working on this project to develop a solution for medical images.
Awesome. All right, so it's our turn. All right? Oh, you want to clap hands? Go ahead. Come on, eh? You know, when the minister was saying we've got some intelligent people, you kind of get that feeling. I feel like very inferior sitting next to him. I'm going to stand real far here. All right? So, all right, so let's get the questions. 3 questions and we move. All right, we got one over there.
Okay, my first question is, your software, is it legal in Zimbabwe? Especially I remember the cases where the Minister of the Medical Association of Zimbabwe is against such software. Is it illegal, one? The second point is, if the diagnostic from your system if somebody makes a mistake or somebody dies because they have interpreted the information from your system, who is going to be liable for that? Thank you.
All right, thank you for your question. So on the first part, this is a system still in development, and we are looking that as we develop, we will engage the medical regulators both locally and outside, because we want this to be an international product, and get approval for it to be used in the hospitals. So yes, there's provision for that. We just need to get the approval. And then on the second question, this product is not intended for the general public like you. It's going to be used by the medical practitioners, the doctors, the radiologists. So what we are hoping is that it's not necessarily going to replace the radiologist, but it's going to help them improve their diagnosis accuracy.
Guys, we are just clapping hands now, eh? Is this our thing? Do that for me too, eh? Okay.
I want to ask that if anything like a CMM or a casual medical officer assesses what you have produced from the outcome of the NA disease you're facing, is there anything you are going to help the nurses field so that they can get access to learn more about your field? Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, as I've pointed out, that there's a serious shortage of radiologists in this country and in many other developing countries. So our vision for Dr. X is that we want to be able to get approval for it to be used even in those areas, even in the rural areas where there are no doctors and whatnot. So in our prototype, we've achieved an accuracy of 82% in differentiating between TB, lung cancer, and healthy X-rays. So we are saying that 82% is much better than the average for radiologists, which I'm putting out at 70%. So what we are going to try to convince the regulators to say that this, since it does better than the average radiologist, we can have it deployed even where there are nurses only to give that diagnosis of medical images.
Wow. All right, so that's 3 questions, right? 3 questions, so we gotta move, folks. We gotta move. So if you still have a burning question, he's available to answer those questions. But well done to you, Dr. X. You answered those questions like a dude. Well done. Let's clap hands for him. Yo! All right. Yo! And there were some tough ones there, eh? All right, so now I just need to clarify, are we clapping hands because these guys are answering well, or are we clapping hands because I told you after this one we're going to have some food? The food, ne? I thought as much, but yeah, you're forgiven. So, Zim host is about to come on. You want to come on? You've got the best time because these people are so happy because after you, and this guy is smart, eh? If you went to his stand, he had apples, bananas, chi. So when he's talking to you, he's like, yeah, here, grab an apple, leave a stamp. Nice one. All right.
That's a marketing skill I acquired. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to present on the Own Your Own store. My name is SMK Shingi Chiinze. I love my names equally, so I always tend to initialize them. I'm the marketing consultant for Zimost Web Designers. And if I'm going to tell you about my salary, I think that would be way too much information. We have an online payment system, which is called Oyos. What made us come with this product is we wanted to bring all the companies in Zimbabwe, be it an SME or an artist, online. We want to bring the online presence so that people can buy online and promote e-learning, e-commerce platform. What we also noticed is most of the international gateways have restrictions in Zimbabwe, like PayPal. So we've brought it more local. So Oyos is a brand which is there to enable Zimbabwean people to then purchase using local payment gateways. We've integrated it with EcoCash, Telecash, ZimSwitch, and PayNow. So all these facilities, most of the banks in Zimbabwe, they don't have Visa or MasterCard facilities, thereby inhibiting their clients from purchasing online. So we then came up with a concept that at least we enable the Zimbabwean community to be able to buy online. So our solutions then, we want to lower the overhead costs. The person will have an interaction with his own website. So that means you own your own store and fully manage it. Whereas you want to populate your products, you're selling, take for example, you're selling tractors, you can load all the products online, then be able to sell them to the general public. So we have two steps the OYOS is going to be divided into. We're going to have one, which is going to be as a subdomain, whereby you'll be riding over our OYOS domain, or you can have your own domain and a customized web design. Basically, for an e-commerce website to be fully built, I believe most of the web developers around here can acknowledge with me that you need to input at least $700 to get a fully functional e-store website. But the beauty of it is, we as ZMost thought that there is a global crunch, there is cash crisis. So what then can we then give to the SMEs to better off their business and improve their online presence? We are going to be offering this product at as little as $20 on a monthly basis. It will come with fully functionality of all the payment gateways interacted, and also then you then manage your own store. ZMost is a web developing company, and we have a team of 13 enthusiastic web developers who are basically based here in Bulawayo and in Harare. And we're boast to have won so far, and still counting, 13 awards as a minimum. The brainchild behind ZMost is Mr. Pearson Fawai, who is a marketer, a web developer by profession. And he's the one who's spearheading the team around to come up with innovative ideas. What we're thinking is we want to promote the plastic money platform. Currently, when you go to the bank, you're given maybe $200, $300, which might not be enough to then go and buy other products which you have at heart. So we want all SMEs to then have the platform to have a cashless society and also bring in revenue to your industries. We also have another product which is based on online sales for artists. That's, we had a meeting today. Well, I'm confident that the Harare team has confirmed that Star FM has come on board with, they've signed up the artists, where artists can then showcase their products. You can also buy their music online, aggregating it with the international market as well. That was too quick. The people are hungry, I know, but don't take the mic away from me.
I've been mandated by the permanent secretary himself to do this, so please take a seat. Everybody, round of applause for ZMost. All right, so because I'm not going to ask a question because this guy gave me an apple today, so you guys ask the questions. I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me. Okay, let's go.
Okay, thank you. My question is quite simple. Whenever I hear the term money, the first thing that comes to my mind is the term security. Being a person who's played a lot when it comes to internet payments online, I want to say you've developed a new system which makes you a target, right? Whenever there's a new system, hackers, people in security are always looking for loopholes. So what have you taken, what steps have you taken to actually accredit your online payment platform, given that Zimbabwe has so many online payment platforms, but very few seem to boast about their encryption rates or anything. I've seen so many loopholes on Pay Now. If I start talking about them now, I might get arrested. So I don't know what steps you've taken. Thank you.
Okay. Since OYOS is a baby in the process, what we have done so far is we've built good firewalls, but we now need funding to then get more security software embedded on the websites.
Yes, thank you. I would like to add to what you are saying. When we talk of security, we are talking about very serious stuff here. So as an online company, you've done very well actually. But what encryption standards are you using? Okay? Because encryption is open source. So I'm trying to understand why you need money to buy software when it's open source. Let's start there.
Well, basically, besides the software alone, what we've then done is the technical team behind the Oyos brand has already stipulated that they have created a few gateway pathways. We've taken APIs from different network providers, thereby their security also is then passed on to our payment platform.
My question is going to be a two-in-one. Okay. On your Oyos music platform, how much are you going to be charging our local artists? Say, for instance, Boys Zedu Zim Dance Hall. And also, with, say, for instance, I have a Nokia 3310. Can I access Oyos and purchase a song, say, for instance, using EcoCash?
That's very much possible. I'll go to your first question. The setup is at zero cost, right? So we are going to say all artists can bring in their albums. They launch their albums and their music, which can then be sold in categories, right? A person can choose to maybe buy one hit track. Then we are going to liaise with that artist. The money will go direct, instead of it being pirated, the money will go direct into the artist's account, right? Then with your Mbudzi phone, if I'm to say, Oyos is mobile friendly. It's compatible to all mobile phones and it won't chew up your data. So you can download, then have the song in your phone.
Unfortunately, our time is up, folks. All right, a round of applause for Zim host. Now I have the job of delivering good news for me, maybe not so good news for you. After a discussion with the permanent secretary, he highlighted that it would not be innovative of me to allow people to eat now because I would then not eat as well as the MC. So we're all going to just sit through a few more and then just go and eat one time so that I can go first in line. So apologies for you, congratulations to me. All right, so moving forward, Code Marshall is going to come up and have their time in the sun. So he's an example that innovation has no age. He's very young.
Protocols have been observed. In fact, actually, I'm going to talk about the railway innovations that are required at this moment. In fact, we have designed a system called Think Tank. Why Think Tank? It's because it takes into consideration the totality of the railways. It has got a technical name, and actually, it is called Rijkaarster Dreams. It's called Rijkaarster Dreams is railway capacity strategies. I'm sorry about that. Okay, go to the next. Right, the impact, oh, yeah, he has gone too far. Can you go back, please? Right. Railway, in particular, those developing countries are on the brink of collapse. I think we are all aware of it. Today, we are looking at the biggest railways in Africa, South Africa. In 1994, they were moving something like 180 million tons. Today, they are moving only 80 million tons. We are looking at NRZ. In 1992, they were moving about 14.2 million tons. Today, they are moving 3.9 million tons. And we are looking at Botswana Railways from 1.6 million tons to 500,000 tons. So, what is the problem? It's because of the withdrawal of government subsidy and poor management, unstructured investments, and the poor funding of investments. That is where we are coming in as a think tank. The impact on the economy is that actually there will be a reduction in financial, on the financial burden on the fiscus. Definitely is true. Because actually railways actually were sustained by the government, but this time they will have to sustain by themselves. And by so doing, if you bring in a think tank, definitely you will have to reduce that because you'll be self-sustaining. Reduction in transport costs in the economy because there will be better competition and there will be more competition. There will be a reduction in pollution and road carnage. Definitely, that is very true. What we have found actually in West Africa, we did a study. We found that actually, if you were to go use the railway more than the road transport, you will be reducing pollution by almost 90%. And road carnage, I don't have to discuss about that because you know the lorries, the way they move at night. Increased efficiency in transport because actually everyone will be playing his part in his own area because it's more competitive. Reduction in poor investment in the railway, thereby reducing wastage in the economy. I don't think I can discuss much about it because what is happening is that actually where are all the investments that have been put by government actually on the NRZ or any railway for that matter in Africa, which have succeeded to improve the system, assured continued employment of railway staff? I think that one is a straightforward case. You can imagine, in the 1980s, railways used to employ about 21,000 people, and today they are employing only about 6,000 people. It is based on algorithms and take a holistic approach in decision-making on railway key resources. That means the track, infrastructure, locomotives, and wagons. What we are saying is that actually this system is what we call a deterministic system. It's a mathematical model. In fact, it has taken us so many years to develop. I would say roughly about 22 years. Yes. That's why my hair is white. It's because right. But anyway, our team. The team is made up of railway experts. We've got software analysts. One of them is here. Programmers and marketing experts. The market. So far, there is only one system to compete with in the world. In fact, I've been working on it.
When you talk to your elders, you can't just show up and take the mic away from them. So the other thing I won't be doing is asking my elders a question, so you guys can take the risk. Okay.
Thank you very much for the innovation. Is there anything that you really wanted to say that you couldn't say? Maybe I could borrow this, lend you something.
Yeah, that's skill.
Basically, I think I've said most of the things that I wanted to say on the system. And what is left really is for us actually to start from home before we go away from home. I would say that right now there are 53 railways in Africa. And out of the 53 railways in Africa, there are only 4 that are computerized. We are not talking about think tank alone, but we are talking of other systems, operation systems. Our statistics are deplorable. That's why actually we had to develop these systems ourselves. I hope it answers your question.
All right. Is that 40-40?
Sorry, maybe I have a problem with my ears, but what does it do? Like, I don't know, you're talking about fintech, but I don't know what it does. You didn't say anything at all about what it is all about. All I know is I just read, and yeah. Can you please explain exactly what it does?
Okay. Right. What the system does actually is to make decisions on behalf of management. The extent the railway organization makes it almost humanly impossible for one person to make decisions that are optimal. So in such situations, you would require the computer actually to assist actually in decision making. Why? It's because actually they look at the totality of the railways as one unit rather than components of the railways. And yet in our human minds, we tend to think we are compartmentalized to say, we look at the infrastructure, we look at the wagons, we look at the locomotives, and forget about the impact of our decision on one aspect of the railways in relation to the totality of the railways. So the system itself actually does all that. Each time when you give it a problem, it will actually look at the totality of the railways. If you decide to buy wagons, in fact, you don't have to decide. It tells you to buy wagons, locomotives, and it tells you when to buy them, and the time frame over which you can buy them, and how much actually they are going to cost you. And at the end of the day, it tells you exactly how much profit you are going to make for each year that you are going to operate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I just want to ask one question. Have you considered using electromagnetic railway lines that are efficient, powerful, and faster?
Thank you for the question. In fact, actually, what the railways that you are talking about mainly are for passengers. Here, especially in third world countries, we are talking about freight. We are talking about economic growth. We are talking of fair competition. So it will, I think, as far as the system is concerned, the first area it's addressing actually is for the developing countries. Like I said, there are 53 countries in Africa, 53 railways in Africa as the first market that we've got. And out of the 53, only 4 are computerized, which means that actually we've got to go to the basics. And I can tell you, I think we'll make a headway from there. Like the statistics which I gave you, South Africa used to move 180 million, now it's moving 80. Zimbabwe used to move 14 million, now they are moving 3.9 million. Thank you.
All right. Code Marshal, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. 2 more to go. And it's going to keep getting better from here on out. So, Waza, do you want to come up and talk to us about neon? Hey! Standing ovation before you even talk. All right, Waza, over to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. All right, I'm Wadzanai Kimberly Pwanya, and I'm here for NEON. So, I'm a student, so we're given assignments. I'm a student at the National University of Science and Technology. So, sometimes you may be given assignments and you want to do research. So, me being a computer science student, I usually prefer doing my research online. So I noticed that when we're given assignments or tasks that needed information about stuff that's happening in Zimbabwe, that's local stuff, it was hard to find that stuff online. So I saw that there was a problem. And sometimes when you search for companies or you want a service, a local service, it's hard to find people. If you don't find things in newspapers, online, there are very few companies that have decided to go digital. That's when I thought I should go into this, which is Neon Web Services. So what do? We provide end-to-end web services. What's different about us? There are many people out there who are providing web services, but when they come to you and when they tell you that we're providing a website for you, they do not tell you the value in having that. So what we look at as Neon is e-tourism. As much as Zimbabwe has gone so far in promoting tourism, it has not put as much effort in putting that in promoting e-tourism. Meaning, if you search for local things, you won't find them online. It's hard. There are very few that are there. So what we do as Neon, we promote local domains. That's your .co.zw. So people who come to us, yes, we do give you international domains as well, but we promote .co.zw. Why? So that people know that stuff is happening in Zimbabwe. We are doing things. Also, we provide Also, when we do websites for businesses, we make sure it's valuable to you. We make sure when people search for you, they find you online. So that's the innovation that we have. We're not just going to give you a website and leave you. We're going to make sure it brings value to your business. It brings value to Zimbabwe as a whole when we promote each other in that way. So what's our traction? So far, we started in March. So far, we have registered over 130 domains, and we're hosting over 100 websites, and we provide corporate emails to over 50 companies. So, yeah, and our team is comprised of me, the founder, the advisor Takunda Chingonzo, and 3 developers who we work with in the development process. And our ask from you is that help us on our journey in changing things in Zimbabwe. When we come to you and we approach you, unfortunately, most businesses, especially businesses that are still starting, they're still sticking to the traditional way of doing business, just sticking to business cards and your phone number. We're saying, go digital, reach your clients. That's what we're saying. So we're saying, try our services. And also, so far, we are providing hosting services using servers which we rent. So we want to move to that stage where we now own our servers. So I think it would really help if we get to that stage where we own servers and be able to provide high quality services at low cost prices. Thank you.
Wow. Sometimes it takes a woman to do things on time, eh? All right, so let's get into the question. Okay, Tom.
Okay, I'm going to ask, you didn't mention the price range for registering your domains because they come in different prices, right? Yes. And in terms of scaling, which you just reminded me one question.
All right. Most of our services are flexible, but for domain registration, all our domains, it's $10.
A question over there?
What separates you from other web developers? And is it true that you are targeting those companies that don't have websites? How about me, who's got a website? What is it that you're offering to me that I can't get from the rest of the other guys?
All right. Thank you for that question. Before I actually decided to get into this, I did a bit of research. So there are people who are also providing services that I do, but they just give you a website and they leave you. They leave you with a website just like that. So what we do is, when we give you a website, we optimize it. It's called search engine optimization, meaning when people look for you, they actually find you. You're not just going to have a website that's just going to sit somewhere and not be of relevance to you, not bring any value to your business. We do what is called search engine optimization, which will put you on higher rankings
I mean, search engine optimization, whatever, web marketing, that's the in thing.
Yes.
When I'm looking for somebody to upgrade my website, those are the very things that I'm asking.
Yes.
I'm from ZITF. How is the ZITF brand going to fare international? And those are the questions that I'm asking. But I'm saying to you, when I leave this room, what is it that you're offering that is different from that?
I'm saying, I am making sure you are found. Besides that, I'm also going to give you statistics about your website, which most people do not actually offer that. Unfortunately, nowadays, if someone decides, they can just go on the internet and learn how to develop websites in a week, and they do not offer that, unfortunately. I did my research, and that's what I found.
I'm not convinced, because I
Okay, so maybe let's give you two a room, and like you guys can like fight it out, you know? Because I think maybe you just need more time where Waza can romance you with her voice, all right? But I think it's definitely stuff. Thank you for those questions. I think this is the stuff that we really need to make sure we're clear on what the value proposition is. All right? We're just going to take one more question.
Sorry, I'm going to reiterate on the question that was asked by, I think, someone from that end. I don't see any innovation in that. Like, what is different from other companies like Zimost, Zoe? Like, they're offering all those services. I want to understand what's different, what's innovative about it.
All right. Thank you for that question. What's innovative is we are giving opportunities to businesses that are still starting, and they're just being given websites and being left alone. People are just getting their money and leaving them. We are providing them more than that. That's what we are saying, that we're not just giving you a website and just because you came with your money, we just get your money, give you a website and leave you. It's part of our package from registering your domain up to the optimization. So we're saying, try us and you definitely, we're not selling dreams. We're actually doing those things.
All right. I think we may need some. All right, so I think we're out of time on this one. Thank you, Azza. You got some tough questions, my friend. You know, after that, I'm almost tempted to ask, what the heck is innovation? Because, you guys asked some those questions there. So I'm going to ask one of the guys who are doing some of the hubs. Do you want to share with us, Takunda, real quick, your definition of innovation?
Good evening, everyone. So the reason why I think this question is important is because, the reason why I think this question is very important is most of the time, when we hear young people pitching about their ideas and things like that, we expect to hear people talking about new breathtaking things that have not been seen on the market before. Innovation in itself is about taking what is already being done by other companies, by industries, by private sector entities, and finding a way to make it cheaper, faster, more efficient, or even easier to access. There's a difference between innovation in itself and the inventive step that some people take. So as people within our community, I think it's something that we need to take into account, that yes, there are innovators, then there are people who then invent new things. Both bring economic growth and development in our industries.
All right, so we're going to move on. All right? So this is the last innovator, right, from Infinite Gaming. So can we just clap hands for a little bit? I think we haven't clapped hands in a long time. All right? Let's keep doing that. Okay, can we do one more exercise? Can we just stand for a little bit and just shake it off? Just shake it off, okay? Just shake it off. Come on, just shake it off. Come on, let's shake it off. Let's shake it off. Come on, guys. Come on, stand up. Come on. Eh? You don't want to shake it off, eh? Come on, let's shake it off. Let's shake it off. All right, so you can take a seat. It's interesting that the CEO stood up, and those who are not CEOs just remain. You see, these guys get there because they listen to the MC, you know? So be like a CEO. All right, over to you, man.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mtutu Zespanda, and I'm from Infinite Gaming. We have designed a software a game actually that allows you to teach your children how to know about the Zimbabwean history. What we have done with the video game, it allows the children to be able to play it virtually on a computer, and they can play it using a TV for some of those who cannot afford to have a computer. The games that we have designed, we have the one called the Chaka Zulu era, and one called the an ICT learning game. The Chaka Zulu era has a stage where it starts with Chaka chasing Ziligazi to Zimbabwe. So that game is not only a game, but it's a teaching and a learning skill for children to know about the Zimbabwean history. It takes you from there and brings you to Zimbabwe, and then you learn about the Zimbabwean history. From there, there's a stage where you have to learn about the whole of Zimbabwe, not only Bulawayo, and it takes you from Bulawayo to Harare, where you have to now know about what happened throughout the whole time. And then the ICT learning games are not really heavy on rendering speed. So what we have designed is a system that can run from a CD or from a flash. For those of you who have TVs at home, you can have a DVD running the game, and then you can have your children learning about shapes, learning about animals. We discovered that a lot of our youngsters are running away from school and they prefer playing video games. So this year we designed a platform where they can be able to learn about the history. We take the whole people making history book and then we have it as a video game. It's easier for a child to walk up into a classroom and they can be able to know about everything about our history. I think that's basically it.
Wow. That was fast.
Yes, I was told to be quick. So
Yo.
I had to get
Oh, that's innovation, right? Yeah. You almost did like fast forward Shaka Zulu. All right. Over there.
Thank you. I would want to know how, what is your source of facts in the history that you're using? For instance, the Chaka Zulu, because there are some facts that are disputed or contested in the history of Zimbabwe. What are you using to research to ensure that your information is accurate? And for your information, I've done some research on the Chaka Zulu history. You can see me afterwards. I can give you a DVD on that.
Well, thank you. That's a very good question.
Before you answer that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the art of pitching your business indirectly. That's innovative. Eh? Now we all know he's got a CD of Shaka Zulu, the true story. Were you there? Oh, anyway, let's go.
Okay, thank you, sir. What we have done, we have done a bit of research, me and my team. We are moving around looking for historical people. One of my guys went to go talk to Mr. Patisanyati and Konti Mhlanga. And one of our guys next week is going to Harare to go find out who he can talk to so that we have the full aspects of the history.
I have a question. Where's the money? Really, where's the money? Where's the money?
So 40-40. Which eye are you using? Using this eye? Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure if you meant, because yeah. Huh?
Okay, the money. When we design this software, when we design the games, we don't hand them out for free, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have a system where we're going to go around preschools for infantry kids to be able to have this software. What we're going to do, we are going to talk to every school and they will know about the systems that we have so that they can be able to advertise. We have a team of guys who are going to be advertising the product for us and we're going to be selling it around.
can ask later. Okay. One more question from. We haven't had much from that side, yeah? Can we have one question from there? You got one there, Dominic? Okay, give me one question for there.
Thank you. My question is maybe not just it's not only pertinent to you, but it's pertinent to people in an industry which is similar to yours. You did mention the issue of CDs, right? I'm sure most people would think the CD era is dead, right? But my question is, it's on copyright. Personally, I'm a fanatic when it comes to gaming, but I've never paid a dime for a game, right? And I'm sure that is true for most people. So how then are you going to protect your content in terms of the CD? Are we not going to have an issue? You realize a simple school will have maybe 50 PCs. Are we not going to have one disc ripped into 50, right? And you only get to sell one disc instead of the intended 50. Are we looking at user licenses? Are we looking at copyright software? Are we looking at digital blueprinting? What exactly are we looking at? Thank you.
Okay, with that there, we have tried to find a way of linking up with gaming corporations. We've got one called EA Sports. We have one called Betsider and Cybertech. But then those ones are now big corporations where some of you who have computers will be able to download the games. With the CDs now, we cannot avoid piracy at the moment. It's something that is really hard here in Zim. But then at least that way our product will be out there, and then we have more games that we have designed that we want to get out to the people. That way we are getting known by everyone.
Well done, Infinite Gaming. Come on, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Baba. Ladies and gentlemen, Yellow Bones, IBMs, you cannot come to Bulawayo and not have an experience of the dance culture here. So ladies and gentlemen, I know you're thinking it's time to eat and we're getting there, but before that, nice, ne? Right? All right. So remember, this is being live streamed by Technomag, and all pics are available on their website. So if you want to get a pic of yourself or start getting that, when we're having some dinner, you can do that. So what's going to happen now is these are the 6 innovators. The adjudicators have been taking score and taking into account the questions you've been asking. And they're going to determine who of these 6 guys really did well and would are eligible to get some of the really cool prizes that our operators have graciously put forward to just support the innovators. These are very practical prizes, and I'm not going to tell you just yet because I want you to come back. You want to see these prizes. You want to see, and this goes out to all the exhibitors. You are all included. They've got something for each and every one of you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have some entertainment, and whilst these guys are dancing away, our ushers will take some of our VIPs to where they'll be having their dinner, and please remain seated until the ushers come and grab you as well, so that we make sure everyone gets something to eat, and it's nice, smooth, and innovative. Over to you, Mapantula.
Thank you. A round of applause to our entertainers from Bulawayo. Well done, gentlemen. What I know is that there's one dancer that I know that can do amazing things. I don't know whether I should call him, because I know that he can compete with the amazing talent that we saw tonight here. Should I call you Bonnie? Should I call you Bonnie? Bonnie is an amazing Museve. Do you all know Museve? He's an amazing Museve dancer. And we call him pleasure entertainer, because at Potraz, when we have a shortage of entertainers, he is the man who entertains for us. So a round of applause for Bonnie. Bonnie, can you stand? Yeah. I think, Bonnie, you need to... Where is the manager for the group that just left just now? Manager, where are you? The leader of the group? Vuya Puti. Yeah. There's someone looking for employment. Aren't you, Minister, was talking about employment creation and value and yeah. So I have an employee for you, a dancer. I think you can have a sideline with Bonnie right there. Yeah. So anyway, maybe you can just briefly tell us about your group, what it is that you do, and in a few minutes, few seconds, just tell us what you do as a group.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Kaisa is a multidisciplinary entertainment company based here in Bulawayo. We provide a virus X. This group was established earlier back in 2004. We're made up of both male and female. For now, the things that we provide PA system, we provide entertainment, like what we have been doing now. We also provide live music. The list is endless. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So why should we hire you? Why should these people here, the corporate, why should ZITF, where is ZITF? ZITF was asking hard questions. Why should ZITF hire you for ZITF 2017?
We have lots and lots of surprises. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, entertainment is our business. This is what we do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
That is an innovator. Innovator to, what do you think?
I don't know.
You think we should give him a prize?
I think we should have. I think let's have a dance-off with the MC first and see who's better.
Really?
Really?
Oh my goodness, I don't think...
I'm ready.
I don't think you are as
Let's do it.
flexible.
I can do it. Let's do this.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting the final results from our adjudicators. Ancho Terence.
Yeah, they're working on the figures meticulously, making sure that they get the right stats so that we can give the prizes to the right people. But, you know, so the one thing I love about this event is that we're not only incentivizing those who presented, right? Food.
Oh, by the way.
Yes.
We are live on, we are on Twitter. I think there are several people who are tweeting about this event. We're also on Facebook. We're also on, ZFM Stereo. Where are you? ZFM, I think they're outside. Oh, there they are. DJ, where are you? Hello, the DJs from ZFM, they're here broadcasting live. We've got Star FM. I think they can hear us because we're doing crossovers. We have Star FM that are doing crossovers. We have ZTV. Where are you? I think they're interviewing the innovators outside for the news tomorrow. Watch this space tomorrow on the news. We're going to have the Bulawayo innovators coming out on the news tomorrow. And then we're also on Radio Zimbabwe. Who listens to Radio Zimbabwe? I know they've got one of the highest or they are one of the highest listenership in Zimbabwe. So we are also on Radio Zimbabwe, on ZFM, on Star FM tonight. We also have journalists here from the Bulawayo Press Club. Where are you? Bulawayo Press Club, that right there. They are here to support. We also have ZTV, I've already mentioned. So thank you so much for the media who have come here. I think the ZBC camera is back. Take me. Am I smiling enough? Okay, let's all smile for the camera because we're going to be on TV. Who's been on TV before? Baluchwana. So yeah. So adjudicators, are we ready with the results? Just 2 minutes? A minute? Okay. We just want to wrap up this whole process and then we just go and eat and have some drinks and be merry and network tonight. I know that the Honorable Minister has asked for a tutor who can teach him isiNdebele, lesikhalanga, lesitswana, lesixhosa, ibhinga, lesitonga. So those who are volunteering, who feel that they know those languages, please, sicela limfundise. My boss here, Mrs. Nyamutswa, okhulunyiwelwa nosukunyisiweyo layo uyafuna ukufunda. So simfundise. Antsho Mrs. Nyamutswa. Lizwile. Kuthiwa angizwa. Yeah, abakwazi ukuthi unet 1 uleader wangikhona kuthiwa mani Mr. Mtandiro uthe la ucela ukuthi limfundise isitonga. Labana abakwazi isitonga, please can you teach ulokuzeni Mr. Mtandiro uthe ufuna ukufunda isitonga. Angitsho? Yeah? All right. Ulokuzeni tel 1, abe tel 1 bathe khona la bafuna ukufunda amanye ama languages. So I think we've got a lot of business and employment creation there. So we have our prizes. They're here, the results.
They're here?
Yeah.
The results are here?
Okay.
All right. Shall we do this?
Agulama drums. Yeah? This one.
Drum roll, please. So how do we start, Sibo?
I think we announce what they are winning.
We announce what they're winning?
First, yes.
Okay. So for all the innovators that presented today, during the afternoon exhibit, from Net 1, they're all getting t-shirts, caps. From Tel 1, they are all getting 10 gigs of data. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go on?
Yeah, and Telecel is providing us with dongles for the top 5.
Woo! Net 1 comes back and says, we're going to give the 6 presenters 1 fusion packages of $100. Yo! Plus 6 Wi-Fi dongles and data lines.
How about eating kosiam?
Ooh, that's nice, no?
Nangu Tel 1 umkhulumi. Did you say about Tel 1? I think read Tel 1 sis.
My sister. They should put something for the MC here. All right, so we'll start with a disclaimer. Now, if Tel 1 is not operational in the area where you live, well, tough luck to you. You can give that package to me. Now, they're going to give 4 ADSL home lines to the top 4, including free installation. Say it together with me, free! Plus 3 months free subscription. Sure.
I'm a 40. And then 40.
Okay, I think we can go in. All right, and for...
This one, did you read this one? 40 times 10 GB data.
Wow.
For all the innovators.
Okay, so we come back to all the innovators. So Tel 1 is going to give, I think I said this, but I'm going to say it again. They're going to give 40 10 gig data Tel 1 public Wi-Fi lines to everyone. All right.
To all the innovators.
To all the innovators. So you all get something just for showing up.
A round of applause for the service providers who are here tonight. Yeah? Okay.
Oh, but before we move on, Sibo, Net 1 is going to give 6 6 smartphones.
Smartphone.
To our, yeah, smartphone. Hey, smartphone, yeah.
Okay.
With net 1 lines, yeah? 6 smartphones with net 1 lines.
How? Hi, bye.
Woo!
We are here in the city of kings and their queens, Mamancho. Ay kubi, uhamba kubi. Shem. Ay kuhle, uhamba kuhle. Shem. Ne?
Shem, yeah, Shem.
So this is an announcer now, so we can go and talk about this. We'll start with our number 3 prize winner.
Shall we call our Honorable Minister to come and...
Yes.
Honorable Minister, may you please
And the
come?
chairman, the deputy chairman of Potraz to come and hand in the prizes. Can we have Sandra to come and give us mutitambidzo ma prize vanu? Sandra. This is the deputy chairman of the Potraz board, retired Major Khumalo.
General.
Major General.
Major
Khumalo.
General.
Yes, Major General Khumalo. Bese ngiyakokunye. Okay, Sandra, you're bringing the prizes. On number 3.
3.
Infinite.
Gaming.
Well
Round of applause,
done.
come on. What are they getting?
The minister of ICT is giving you a laptop with specific specifications that are actually user-friendly for innovators. Jose wants to say something. That is our innovator at Potraz.
It's an HP 450. It's actually one of the latest.
We can't hear you. You're closing with your hands.
HP 450. It's one of the latest machines on the market right now. Core i5, 4 gig graphics, 8 gig RAM. It's a good machine. 512 SSD hard drive.
Thank you.
You know what, Siwong? He lost me on laptop. It's a
well
good
done,
laptop, eh?
Infinite.
For the rest of us, it's a good laptop, eh? Yeah. Okay. So Zim host.
Well done, gentlemen. And they don't have a lady, so I'll go and pause with them. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, is Zim host. Zim host,
Come
where
on.
are you?
And this was a tight one, Wilson.
This gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? When I was talking to him outside, I thought, wow, he's providing solutions for SMEs. You know, well done, Zimost. He's also getting the same laptop and a whole lot of other benefits that he's getting that were announced earlier.
Plus, he fed the MC. So, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Our top prize, ladies and gentlemen, goes to
Drum roll, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Dr. S.
Dr. X! Woo! Come on.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Well done, doctor. Complete with the doctor jacket. Well done. Thank you. Whilst you are there, ladies and Honorable Minister, we want to thank the city of Bulawayo for hosting us here. So the Honorable Minister has brought a small gift for the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs. A small gift to thank all of you and the minister for allowing us to come here and host us this warmly. So if we can give a round of applause to the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to tell her what it is. But in telling her, I'm also telling you what it is. It is my media pad, my fabulous world, Huawei media pad.
Well done. Thank you so much. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, sir, Mr. Kumalo, for that presentation. Our last speaker is somebody who's coming to give us a vote of thanks. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the District Administrator of Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, or Bulawayo Central, Mrs. F. Nkuziwalela. A round of applause for...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Director of Ceremonies, the Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Mandiwanzira, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, Dr. Engineer Sam Kundishora, the Provincial Administrator for Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, Madam Konzani Ngube, His Worship the Mayor of the City of Bulawayo, Councillor M.K. Moyo, Directors in the Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services, other senior government officials here present, Potraz Board Vice Chairman, Retired Major General Singamuzi Kumalo, Potraz Acting Director General, Mrs. Nyamutswa, Chief Executive Officers, Managing Directors, representatives of ICT companies here present, captains of industry, distinguished innovators, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, allow me to give a vote of thanks following what we have all witnessed. The objective of this innovator showcase has been alluded to, is to identify and support young innovators in our country to develop their ideas, protect their intellectual property, and deploy their technical solutions for the development of Zimbabwe and the global market. Many thanks to the Minister of ICT, Postal and Courier Services for good stewardship in the ministry and the sector. Minister, we want to thank you for the support and encouragement you are giving to young innovators. Encouraging and supporting young innovators in this manner will not only enable them to exchange views on ICTs, but will enable the growth of the ICT sector in Zimbabwe and consequently boost our economy. Let me extend my gratitude to the Minister of State for Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, Honorable E.S. Moyo, for hosting this occasion, and to Potraz and ICT players for your contribution to the Innovation Fund. Let me also express my appreciation to all of you for dedicating your time to this inaugural event. Last but not least, many thanks to the hotel staff, Potraz, ministry staff, and everybody who worked tirelessly to make this event a success. I thank you all.
Thank you to the District Administrator for Bulawayo Central for those closing remarks or vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give her a round of applause? Angazi bathi khona sesiqedile. Xa sesiqedile angazi ngesindebele kuthiwani kodwa mina vele sengihlala ngale phela so ngizakhuluma ukuthi kuthiwa khona thina ngapha eHarare sithi thina ukamayigasha unozajithwane kujika so angazi ukuthi ngesindebele kuthiwani ngakithi ngapha uthi sithini uStella uthi uyafuna ukungitshela so uzangitshela nxa sesile break angisho Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank our VIPs for. Oh, okay. I think there's something that the PS is giving us. Can I have someone? Oh, the certificates. There's certificates. Oh, okay.
Certificates, yeah.
All the innovators are going to get a certificate like this, signed by the Honorable Minister. This is what they're going to all get framed. They're going to frame it nicely and put it in their offices. May I go? When I have a woo from the innovators.
Woo-woo!
Thank you. I'm going to ask our ushers, Sandra, to usher our top table to go and have some eats, and the first 3 rows to go out following that, and then the rest of us are going to be ushered as well, and directed where we're going to go and have some dinner. Sandra, please, can you come?
And while Sandra does that, you know those guys who say they're full of surprises?
Yes.
Panwana, there's some people on the door there who are looking a bit otherwise, eh?
Yes. Come through.
Shaka Zulu comes to town, all right? So they're gonna do a little dance whilst we get ushered out to get some dinner.
When I'm mighty, I'm lenyalo na wena arrive yame na wena arrive yame retapala makeloso baby yame retapala makeloso arrive